Okay, great. So, welcome everyone. It is August 8th, and this is our official annual board meeting for Girls to Women Mentoring Hawaii.
Yay!
And we're going to just start with a second. Yeah, it's just exciting to be together with you all. This is awesome. And before we give like a whole little introduction, we just want to kind of meet everybody. So not everybody has met everyone. So it'd be great if you just say your name and maybe a couple feelings that you're experiencing right now, and maybe just briefly what your involvement is or has been with Girls to Women, so other people who are here will get that. And I'll call on everyone so we go through it. So why don't we have Mirabai, you start.
Aloha, everybody. I'm feeling joy and a little bit of nervousness for this meeting, mainly joy. And I'm officially the president, and I reluctantly just volunteered to put out a Facebook post. That was all I really wanted to commit to doing. And here I am, nearly a year later, and pretty amazed and excited and inspired to be part of this, most especially because of the really fantastic time I've had working with, especially Shakti and Allison. So I'm in with that.
All right, thank you. Why don't we go to Allison next?
Hi, I'm Allison. So I'm feeling a little antsy. I never drink caffeine, hardly ever. Sometimes yerba mate, but today I went to Eva Cafe for the first time and had a rose latte, and I'm still feeling just like buzzing from all the caffeine and trying to curb that. But I'm excited to be here and update and connect with all of you. And I'm the acting vice president of Girls to Women.
Thank you, Allison. And let's hear from Sandra next.
Hi, this is Sandra. I am feeling tired. And I just joined a couple of weeks ago as the treasurer. That's all I have.
Great. Thank you, Sandra. Anjali.
Aloha. I am feeling very happy. I've just got home from being on the mainland for 3 weeks, and I just am so glad to be here, even though I live in Hawaii and we are experiencing pure rain and lots of wind. But besides that, it's all good. I have been involved with Girls to Women and excited about it since I heard Mirabai say the words when she was in Maui at a friend's house, and I'm interested in mentoring and helping with the curriculum, and I'm very, very excited about this project. And with that, I'm in.
Oh, and you've been to a mentor training too, Anjali.
Yes, I have.
And you were on our last call, our quarterly meeting too.
Yes, I was, because I'm highly interested. So I'm able, it seems like with these calls, I'm able to, you guys put it in the perfect time when I'm able to make it. It's always lines up for me, so that's great.
Right on. Danielle, let's hear from you.
I am feeling ecstatic because the sky is clear and it's a beautiful sunset in Kona, and I just got out of work and I can breathe, and I'm so grateful. And I'm also just trying to like calm down because I know I'm now part of this meeting, and I am just really excited to be hearing what you guys have progressed through. I know I wasn't able to meet the last time that you guys got together. I believe it was on a Saturday. And yeah, I'm just excited to hear what you guys have been up since then. And so far, my part in all of this has just been really, a listening ear, maybe some support. And I'm really hoping to maybe help you guys with a possible logo and some data collection. And that's all I've got in this moment.
Great. Thank you so much. And Caitlin, welcome to the call. Let's hear from you. Thank you for coming. First time.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. I'm Caitlin. This is my first meeting. Since I heard of the group, I've been really interested, but because of my work schedule, I've also worked at Pacific Quest and travel. I haven't been able to make any of the other meetings or get fully connected. So I'm both nervous and excited to be connected right now. I was nervous beforehand because I didn't know what to expect, but now I'm excited. And I'm just curious to hear everything that's going on and kind of feel out what my role can be. What sticks out to me so far is mentorship and anything related to rites of passage. But also I'm open to anything else that feels right, that I feel like I can offer and learn from. Yeah, just witnessing this program come to be. I have a lot of heart for everything that I've heard about it.
And where are you zooming in from? Are you in Kona or South Point? Where?
I'm in Volcano Village.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
And no quakes right now, right?
No quakes right now. No, the past few days have been really mellow.
Cool. All right. Now, I'm going to check in, but I just want to make sure, has anyone else zoomed in that we didn't hear from yet?
209 number, that might be Ash. Or is
that is. This is Ash. Hi,
okay.
everyone.
Oh, great. Hi.
Thank you. I'm feeling grateful for Allison for texting me. My brain is frazzled with a lot of work stuff right now. It's our busy season. So thank you, Allison. And I'm also feeling happy, like Danielle is, for the sunset. Just witnessed an amazing color change in the sky, and that was grounding for me to transition into the call with that. So yeah, just feeling present and eager to hear from everyone and what the progress is. Feeling like a little disconnected from it because I wasn't able to go to the last meeting. Kind of similar stuff with work being swamped and priorities shifting. And so my involvement prior, attending meetings and helping with a little bit of outreach to the schools and hearing from their perspective of their needs. And that was prior to the decision to primarily focus on Puna. But we did a lot of good email outreach and hearing back during that time. So yeah, that's my involvement and engagement so far.
All right. Well, thank you. And thank you all for being here. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Shakti. And I am feeling super excited right now. And also a little bit nervous, but that's kind of fading. And I've been a little bit hot, so I have a fan here. And I am the secretary for Girls to Women. And I've just been really enjoying creating this. And especially it's been really a very bonding process for Mirabai, Allison, and I to work together, and then to bring Sandra onto the team. And I'm just really happy tonight to be able to share our progress with you and find ways for all of you to get involved too, because I think we're at a really great place. We've got a great foundation. So I'm curious if everybody received an email with the agenda. Did it all get forwarded onto you? Because there were some links there for everyone to look at. So I'm just, did anyone not receive an email with the links?
I did not receive the email.
Okay, so one Caitlin, and what was that, Allison?
Oh, I said, I'm sorry, Caitlin, I forgot to send it to you.
Okay.
Okay. So maybe afterwards we can follow up by sending her that. I'll just make a note of it. I'll need her. Allison, you can forward me her email address too. Okay. Well, we have. So we're hoping to accomplish a few things on this call, because it is our annual board meeting. So we have some kind of like logistical stuff that we have to abide by just to be compliant. So part of that is that we need to approve the minutes from our last meeting, the quarterly meeting. And so we're just going to start off with this kind of dry, logistical stuff to get it out of the way, and then hopefully we'll get into some funner stuff. So I want to just make a motion right now to approve the minutes from the quarterly meeting. Can I have a second?
I'll second that.
Okay. And it's fine, for those of you who didn't get a chance to read it or look over it, it just really applies to those who did. So does anybody have any corrections or anything that they want to make to the meeting notes? Anything that anybody wants to say about them? Otherwise, we'll go ahead and approve them. So
Nope.
please speak up if you need to. So all those in favor of approving the minutes from the quarterly meeting, you can raise your hand or say aye.
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 Thank you. All those opposed? Okay.
Any abstaining? Cool.
Okay. And next we had another logistic, which was to approve our bylaws. We created these bylaws at our quarterly meeting. We did bring it up, and we had said that we were going to approve them by email, but somehow that did not happen. I don't know, maybe it was my fault as the secretary, the communication that I sent out to the board. It just did not happen.
You are so fired, Shakti.
Yeah, really. And even at our last governance meeting, we were pretty unclear about how it was supposed to happen. And I went back to our Zoom meeting and listened to it. And sure enough, it did say by email, but it didn't happen. So here we are now. Just
I propose a motion to approve the bylaws.
I second.
I'll second it.
Okay.
Gotta write this stuff. Okay. And so, any discussion on the bylaws?
No.
Nope.
Okay. And all those in favor of passing the bylaws?
Aye.
Aye.
Yep.
Aye.
Hey.
Anyone opposed? No. Anyone abstaining? Okay, great. So that passed too. Now, the third piece of kind of business is this conflict of interest statement that each of us on the board are supposed to sign. And it hasn't happened. So I'd like to have a discussion about what is preventing people from not signing it, if they need any help with that. Yeah, so these are mainly the people who've been on our call before. So like I'm curious from Anjali, let's see, I had it written down who had signed it, but now I don't have it right here. I know Allison and Mirabai have, and there was one more.
Lauren.
Lauren signed it, that's right. Okay. So,
Do you guys need a printer in order to sign it?
That's
Or is
what
it online?
You can sign it online. You can do an electronic signature. That's
Okay.
that's how I did it.
Then that would be best. Awesome. That's easy.
Okay, so I just Googled how to do it, and I can send instructions after this on how I did
Great.
that. I don't remember. I'll have to Google it again.
That would be super helpful. I just don't have a printer is the thing.
I don't either. This is Anjali. I don't have a printer. So that's my major. And I haven't been home to.
Oh, okay. Well, good to know. Thank you guys for letting us know that. We didn't know. We thought that might be the glitch, but we weren't 100% sure. So that's good to know. And we'll work on getting you instructions to make that happen. So just kind of maybe could make a note that to check your email, just to, handle that in the next week would be awesome, just to have that completed.
48 hours, I'll do it. This is Anjali.
Super. Thank you. All right. Well, I think that's kind of it for the documents, review of the documents that we needed to do. And what we're going to do next is go on to our annual report from the president. So I'm going to pass the baton over to Mirabai.
Woohoo! Thank you. Before I get started, I just wanted to sort of welcome Caitlin, especially, and say, yeah, I heard you mention rites of passage, and I think it's fair to say that me and Shakti and Allison, and I think maybe Anjali, I'm not sure, but a lot of people initially were like, I want to do a rites of passage. That would be awesome. And then what we heard was, yes, that is awesome, but what the youth really need is more than the amazing rites of passage, is actually people showing up there in their lives on a regular basis. And so I was reluctantly converted to, the in-school mentoring as a foundational program. And we are still intending to do the world's best ever rites of passage initiation weekends. But I just want to be upfront there that right now we're starting with the school-based group mentoring, which is not maybe as sexy sounding, but I think it is going to be powerful and rewarding and meaningful for the girls. So just so you're not waiting to hear all about that.
Okay,
so
great. Thank you.
Oh yeah, you're welcome. We've been like amazingly busy doing a ton of the boring stuff, but I have a very brief synopsis for you of what we have achieved to date. Yeah, mind it. It'll be really good. Okay. So our board currently has 12 committed members officially. We have a fiscal sponsor, and what that means, if you don't know, you've probably heard of 501(c) status, where you can get write-offs for your tax. So a fiscal sponsorship is a way to get that benefit through another organization. So what you need to know is we can now take donations and give people receipts that they can write off against their taxes. And that took a while for us to find the right partner. We're very thrilled. We have a woman called Jenna from a nonprofit called Triangle Advising, and her whole mission in life is to support people to start their charities, enable them to do it. That's all she does, is sponsoring projects. She's been really helpful to us. We got registered with the state. We got registered with the taxes. We got registered with Hawaii Business Department and a few other things like that. We finally have a bank account. We've completed our state and federal tax registration and charitable status. We're an incorporated nonprofit. We have bylaws. We have conflict of interest and safety policy. We have a website. And we are finalizing, putting the finishing touches to our business plan. And really exciting news is that we have the big announcement here. We are going to do a pilot program. We are going to jump in and start doing the magic, doing the service in one school, which will be the Haas School in Pune in January, right? January. Keep getting where I am. And what we're going to do is like a semester. Is it a semester or a quarter? I keep getting confused. 10 weeks, basically. A quarter. So what we're going to do is start there, and they're very excited to have us, and do our first group there. And the reason we want to start with this one group, well, there's a few reasons. One is because it's a smaller amount of money. This is probably the least important reason. It's a smaller amount of money to raise to do a pilot than to fund a whole year's operations, although not that much smaller because there's expensive things like liability insurance. But the real reason for us doing this is actually because we're thinking ahead and we're thinking strategically. So a lot of the inspiration for the model we're using came from the Boys to Men organization. They've been doing group mentoring in schools for boys for 20 years. And we've just got approval from them. Actually, this week, we have approval to officially sign a piece of paper that means we can use all their documents and policies, and this is like saving us an unbelievable amount of wheels that we do not have to create. You know, training standards, and we've already done some of the training programs, have been involved with them. And they also have a pretty awesome reputation. They're actually already in a number of the schools here on Hawaii. So although we're separate, this is kind of an official sort of blessing or sanctioning. And what that means is we get to take that sort of basic structure, but the basic structure is not really a curriculum. In fact, there isn't a curriculum. The group mentoring model is about holding space. It's not topic, and because girls may have different needs, the other reason for us to do this pilot is to actually research what the needs are instead of making assumptions about it. And I've just been coming across some research which is specifically on the different mentoring needs girls have. Like, this is like brand new this week. I've just found it. I don't think I even told Alison and Shakti. And I also have a friend in Canada who used to work for Big Brothers Big Sisters. So we want to do the pilot quite thoughtfully to sort of, think about what works and what they need. And also we want to start collecting some data right from that first program, because that's going to help us go and get money. We want to have, qualitative and quantitative reports at the end of it that says, what the girls noticed, what the teachers noticed, what benefits came out of this. And we have exciting news too. Shakti was able to secure the support of the University of Hilo's social work department. And they're going to be partnering with us to help us design and conduct research, as well as probably supplying mentors, if not for the pilot, then for our next phase, which will be rolling out a full-scale program in maybe 1, maybe 2 schools in August of next school year. So very exciting. And what we need to do now, am I going into that or someone else?
No,
That's it
for now. Yeah, we just wanted you to give the overview so people, could get just a sense of what we've been up to in the past year. So, and we will, we'll go into more specifics, and we're going to have lots of time for questions too. But right now, just keeping with our agenda, thank you so much, Mirabai. That was a really good synopsis of what we've been up to. We're going to just carry on. We want to hear from Sandra just on a little report from our treasurer, since she's joined us, and just to go over some of the numbers, and then we'll be hearing more about our strategic plan, more the details of the pilot program and the timeline from Allison afterwards. So let's start with Sandra here.
Hi, this is Sandra. There was a couple of reports, a balance sheet and a profit and loss. There hasn't been a lot of activity yet, so they're pretty small numbers. So right now there was a Facebook campaign that brought in, I'm not looking at the numbers right now, I'm sorry, but it was about $250. And then there was another $77 that came in. And those are both sitting as undeposited funds right now. And then we have some payables that have to go out to board members who have put out money for expenses like website and getting the partnership with the fiscal sponsor and some marketing. Those have been the major expenses so far, and you can see them listed out on the profit and loss. So right now, we spent a little bit more than what's come in, but they're all pretty small numbers at this point, so it'll all work out in the end.
All right, thank you. I don't know if it's necessary, Mirabai or Allison, do you want to pull up either of those statements to show to people, to share on the screen, or what do you think?
I didn't get it, actually. It was...
Oh, you didn't get it? I guess.
No. It was sent to you, but it wasn't in my forward.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, I think the money, I can tell you that...
I mean, I have it here. I don't know if it's necessary for me to... I have the balance sheet, and let's see. I didn't download. I can download the profit sheet real quickly too. Well, I'll just pull up the balance sheet right now.
I can say that the money costs to date come to $419.66. It's a bit more than that, but some of that was donated, so that's sort of owed to board members.
Okay, so now I have the balance sheet on there just for everybody to see, and I'm just going to download the the other one while you guys are looking at that. Sorry, I didn't have it handy. Let's see, the profit and loss. Okay, yeah, and then here's the profit and loss. So you can see we've got a negative 121.13, and yeah, just wanted to show people at least those numbers. There's not much we need to do with it at this point, but just wanted to be transparent with that. Okay. Whoops. Let me close this out. Sorry. Okay, and I'm gonna, okay, good. So thank you, Sandra, for reporting to us and doing those annual report. We really appreciate it. And I'm so happy to have
Thank
you
you.
on board. Sandra's
Happy to be here.
definitely an asset. She's been helping us pull everything together, and she's a professional accountant, and she's also a mom, and I know some of her children go to Haas too, so she's been giving us some
I do.
good insights.
I have 3 at Haas and 1 graduated from there.
Wow. Yeah, awesome. All right, so now we're gonna move on to talking a little bit about our strategic plan and the timeline. Allison, would you go on from here? That'd be great.
Yeah, I can give an overview of the timeline. So as Mirabai had said, our end goal is to do a pilot study program starting in January for 10 weeks at Haas. We're planning to do 2 groups, which will be 7th and 8th graders as one group, and then a second group will be 9th graders. So that's, let's see, what month is it? August? I have to count. like 4 months away. So we've got a lot to do. And so we made a timeline to figure out what our priorities are and a budget, put a budget in place, which is a working budget, and just get like a map of what we need to do from now until then. So I'm gonna go over some bigger things that pop up on that timeline. So first, I'll say we're working to obtain a PO box, and also Mirabai, I heard you say that we have opened our bank account. Is that okay? I was like, I didn't hear that. So we're gonna open a bank account, obtain a PO box. These are like the very next orders of business, and right now Mirabai is in communication about obtaining insurance, and so that will be liability insurance and for director's insurance. So I believe, and if you guys could correct me if I'm wrong on this, do we need the insurance before doing the organization's background check?
Yes, I think it was.
Yeah. So yes, I think it was a requirement, as well as the PO box and the bank account. All 3 were needed.
So those would be our very next orders of business. We're trying to get those 3 things down so that we can get an organization background check for credibility to move into the schools or the school. Also, big things on our radar are...
Wait, Allison, let me just stop you for 1 sec, because on that particular note, that background check, it is going to involve the board members in that. Yeah, we as an organization, we're going to ask each of the board members to go through to submit a background check on themselves. And then in the future, the mentors will also be doing that too. But I just wanted to put a kind of flag up that will be coming your way once we get these other things in place.
Yeah, it's a requirement because we're an organization working with minors, and also for our liability insurance. So we do have to have that done as well. And so we are actually going to ask each board member to pay for that. It's a criminal background check and sex abuse clearance. And do you remember how long it's good for? We think it's good for a while. It's $39.
I think it's good for a year.
And if we've already, like I'm currently having that done at the school that I work in Javi, they just ordered a background check on me. Is there a way I could use that same background check, or does it have to be repeated?
I imagine there's a way.
Yeah, that's a good question. We can talk with.
We'll find out. It might even be the same firm, but yeah, I would imagine so.
Maybe. Okay, great.
Yeah, so we've got in this 4 months some big things on our radar are fundraising, so having fundraisers, raising the money to launch our pilot program, and marketing. So getting on Facebook, maybe creating an Instagram account, newsletters, just really marketing Girls to Women and getting us out there, connecting with parents, schools, or Haas, the school. So that's on our timeline. And another really big one is creating the mentorship training and having a mentor training group, as well as in creating an ongoing mentor list. So we had already, or Mirabai had already mentioned that we're connected with University of Hawaii about having mentors. And so that's one route that we plan to gather mentors, but also just like other people we know from the community that we feel would be fit for it, or even people on the board if you're interested. But really gathering in people and having a definitive list of who is going to be working with us in January. So to get a little more specific about those bigger points, we talked about having a fundraising beginning in September and having it be ongoing until we raise our funds for January. But we can get into that more specifically in a little bit after we talk about the timeline. And then we've got the mentorship training. We're thinking that we're going to do that in the beginning of December, so it's fresh in the mentors' minds for January. So between now and December, we'll be having group meetings to work on the mentorship training and building also the program, like what it's going to look like for the mentors to go into the schools and have and hold space, like creating the structure for that, the framework.
Allison, there's also a lot of really exciting work creating forms. Like all kinds of forms that will have to be filled out with a contract with the school and permission slips and et cetera, et cetera.
Well,
that stuff.
Got that connection with Boys to Men, so maybe those forms will already be created and we just need to revise them. That would be pretty cool. Yeah, do you ladies have anything to add to that?
No, I think that's a good overview of what's happening in the near future in the next 4 months, because we're kind of gearing up for sure for January for the pilot program. And then I think the only other thing is just to give the overview. We have this formal launch. Our intention is after we make it through this 10-week program in January at Haas, then we're looking towards the future of August of 2019, where we're going to do an ongoing mentorship, which would be, throughout the whole year in Haas and hopefully in another school, maybe Honeka'a. But we're looking at August of 2019 to be like our official launch after we've, gone through the pilot program. So I think that is kind of a good overview of our timeline.
Mm-hmm. Or it could be Kona or Waimea for that matter.
That's true. Yeah, we're open.
That kind of reminded me of something else for the timeline is creating surveys for which also the university might be assisting us in this, but creating surveys for the students and the teachers, that's going to need to be done before January. And
yes.
Then after January, there will be the ones to give them for post the program. And then between, I'd say, the end of that quarter and collecting that data until next summer. We're going to be really getting together to create the program for its official launch in August. We'll have spending a lot of time doing that and fundraising.
And we also are going to get like media releases signed so we can figure out if we can take any photographs from the pilot program and video. And so we'd also, if you or any of you are creative, know people who shoot or edit video, it's going to make a really big difference to our fundraising to actually have, you know, that level of this is what we do and this is what it means.
Yeah, and we can get into that more, like specific how their ideas, or we're going to talk about call to action. Before we move on, I want to share just some magic that really happened. You know, as we've been creating the foundation here and kind of visioning and having our strategic plan, there was a little bit of we had this idea that we wanted to hook up with University of Hawaii, but I have to say it was really hard at first. And we pretty much on one of our last calls, we pretty much gave up the idea of that we're going to be able to collaborate this year. We thought we maybe have to wait till next year. And we thought that, well, maybe we'd just get volunteers from U of H. But just in the last week, I can't tell you how magical it is. It was actually the assistant director of Haas referred us to the head of the sociology department at U of H. And I have to say, it's just been so magical. You know, she wrote me and she just said, I am totally into what you guys are doing. I've heard from Terry. I want to be involved. I call her up and it turns out she lives down the street from me. It's really, really crazy. And she has kids who go to Haas also. And it's such a match. It's absolutely, she knows students who have graduated from her program who she thinks are going to be great mentors. She has the kind of capacity to create an internship program. And she's pretty much she's on leave from teaching. So she has the time and energy to set that up. And she's so excited about it. I can't tell you what a match this is. Wow. And then it's just absolutely incredible. And then on the research thing, she's just so connected. She knew exactly who we need to contact for the research. And she's doing that now. So yeah, things are moving along. I'm just incredibly excited.
Something else super magical I got to share. On Sunday, I was introduced to someone, and her name is Hawatea, and she is a former wilderness therapist. She's a therapist, and she has land where she does rites of passages with, wait for this, a herd of therapy horses that we can use. Woohoo! What? How amazing is that? Half an hour north of Hilo.
God. Wow.
Yeah, so good stuff's happening. We're excited to share it, pass it along. Yeah. Shall we go into some of our new ideas about how we're planning to implement this? And basically we were strategizing about, and we've come up with this timeline, and we were thinking about this meeting, and we've been really thinking about how we can involve all of you. And at first we were kind of stuck on this idea of having committees and breaking us all up into different committees, but we were re-inspired by what we're planning to do now is we're planning to have regular meetings on Wednesday nights with different focuses. So whoever can show up and whoever is interested. What we've done is we've scheduled the next 3 Wednesdays in August for the focuses on these different areas. So on August 15th, we're going to have a meeting on fundraising, and we've been gathering different ideas about fundraising, and rather than all of us on the board tonight, you know, brainstorming on that, we thought we'd have just a special night where we focus on it. And so we want to invite you all to come to the meeting that most interests you. So on August 15th, it's going to be fundraising. And then on August 22nd, it's going to be on program and training, where we'll be, coming up with the specifics of the program. We'll be coming up with the training schedule and all the details of that. And then the third meeting will be the last Wednesday of the month, which will be on marketing. So,
a great idea.
And it'll be the same time. It'll be, at 7 o'clock on Wednesday, and it'll be a Zoom meeting. And so you're welcome, all of you are welcome to come to all of those meetings, or to just one of them or two of them, and our intention, Mirabai, Allison, and I, is for at least two of us to be at those meetings, and maybe three for some of them. It's just a logistics. And then in the meantime, Allison, Mirabai, and I are part of the governance committee, and we still have a lot of these more paperwork stuff to handle. So we're going to continue. We're going to meet each week on Mondays to continue moving this forward. And that's a daytime meeting also. So that's kind of how we're intending to move this forward, at least for August. And
we also have somebody who's volunteered to help us write grants.
Who's that?
My friend in Canada who worked for Big Sister.
Oh.
Jenny.
Oh, okay, great. So that'll be brought up on the kind of fundraising, or will she be invited to one of those calls?
It's 10 at night for her, but I'll ask her.
Okay, or else we can write notes or we can send her the recording. But we definitely need to keep her involved. That's great news. That's awesome.
And I also want to mention that these meetings that we're doing the next 3 Wednesdays, we're going to be meeting pretty ongoing because there is a lot of work to be done by January. So these are going to be continuous meetings. So if there's one that you can't make, we're going to have more fundraising meetings. We'll have more marketing, more programming and training. So it won't be just like the one fundraising meeting. And yeah.
And we also, right now, I have to send a logo, but very soon you'll get an email which will have a link that will send people to our fiscal sponsor page where people can make a donation to us. So I will get that out shortly because, everything and anything helps, I just did like a Facebook giving thing what was that? The one after Thanksgiving, Giving Tuesday, and like $250 came out of that. So whatever anyone has personally, if you want to, any amount's going to help.
Yeah, and we are really interested in maintaining our board and maintaining like your interest, and also in expanding our board. We want to continue to like make connections in the community and bring on, people who are interested in our projects. So I'm really happy, like Caitlin, you're here. You're not officially on the board yet. We welcome you. And we do have openings for more people to be on the board. I'm not exactly sure what our process is or how we want to bring people on. I mean, I think it's good that they come to a meeting and check out who we are. We do have some recorded meetings too that people can look at.
I think the annual meeting is one of the times we nominate new people. If you're interested, Caitlin, no pressure though.
Thank you. I'm glad to be connected, and I think I'll feel out what the right for me. But I look forward to being a part of one of these meetings coming up.
Thanks.
That's great, and that's perfect. That you don't have to commit to be on the board, and you're totally welcome to come to these meetings and feel it out and see what your place is. It's a process. So thank you for being open and seeing about that. I'm not sure also just logistically, how do we handle like we had 12 officially on the board, but then we have like Robin is no longer on the board. Do we have to go through an official process of not having her on the board? Do you know?
I'll check it out. I
Okay.
think we might need a letter of resignation.
Okay. So I
For
was
the minutes.
I was just noting that, and then I'm also just a little bit unsure about some of the people who are on our board who aren't really showing up to the meetings. I'm not sure what to do about that, except that I had sent out our agreements, our board agreements, and one of the agreements here was just that if it was commitment to board and meeting. It says each agrees to show up for the scheduled meetings. If one cannot attend a meeting, they will advise the board or secretary and review the minutes or listen to the recording. If they're unable to attend, they'll provide an update on their activities since the last meeting. And if woman is missing more than 2 meetings without notice, their voting rights are removed temporarily so as to facilitate voting with the majority or quorum. So anyway, that's just what our agreements say, but I don't know how we're keeping track.
I think just to be clear for everybody, the official meetings are quarterly. We're now going to be having these extra ones. These Wednesday things are not official board meetings. So Caitlin, your only commitment to be on the board is 4 Zoom meetings a year.
Okay.
Right. Yeah. And so these ones coming up are definitely, well,
extraordinary whatever meetings.
Yeah, but so my question is more about the quarterly and the annual, that there's people who are on our board who have not been to the quarterly or the annual. And I just am not.
Can we take that offline in the governance, unless anybody wants to
Sure.
talk about it now? I don't want this to be too.
Okay.
I don't want to put Caitlin off. Unless anybody else has strong feelings about a thought on that, I figure we'll do that Monday.
All good.
Okay.
All right. Well, I think at this point it would be good to hear from any of you guys. If you have any questions for us, this is, your time to share any thoughts or feedback or reflection or just any questions you have. I think we've kind of put out what we wanted to, unless there's something else, but this will give us a time to see if there's anything missing. Does anyone have any questions?
I guess I'm curious. I know that there's been multiple trainings that you've hosted or facilitated. I'm curious to hear a little bit about those.
Okay. Not multiple, really only 2, one on Maui and one here. And we actually followed the Boys to Men. It's an initial weekend, so it's actually not so much hands-on training as an introductory weekend to sort of reconnect with your inner teenager. And it gets a little bit into the concepts of LAM, which is listening, accepting, modeling, and blessing, as opposed to FRAP, which is fixing, rescuing, advising, and projecting. So you haven't missed a whole lot of training. The training that will come, those really almost seem more like recruitment kind of things for mentors, just to kind of get them interested. But the training, the training we're going to do in December will be a lot tighter in terms of skills and practicing
And that the training that we did do one on the Big Island, actually, over in Puna. It's called Reclaim Your Teenage Fire. And we had over 25 people there. And the actual training, the people who were coming, some of them were wanting to be mentors, and some of them were just coming for the topic matter. But the trainings that we're going to be doing, most likely probably in December for the actual mentoring on the pilot program, will be really specific to mentoring.
Yeah, I think I went to that Reignite Your Teenage Fire, and I thought of it more as like a workshop.
Mm-hmm. Just to say, in case everybody doesn't know, or it's helpful to when you're talking to other people, the commitment to be a mentor is going to be once a week or possibly twice a week during school hours. And the initial one will be in Pahoa.
You know, Mirabah, I have a question. This is Anjali. What needs to be done so that we can start one in Waimea? Are we just starting one first just to do one in Puna, and you only want to do one kind of as a spearhead, you know how you always do like the maiden voyage and you learn from it. Is
Right.
that the goal? And then, because someone like me can't participate in that because it's way too far away, but I could participate in the Waimea project. Is there, are we going to wait then and just wait and see what we learn from that? Is that the strategy?
Yeah, to do it and see what we learned, what the results are, and then.
And the other strategy is that we were starting with what we call a pilot, but we see ourselves as officially launching in August. So you could theoretically be paving the way to start in Waimea in August.
Yeah,
and we can talk about that on future calls. You know, it's like, yeah, on the short run, we're working on costs, but we're also creating the foundation structure to launch this in other areas. And so you can be a part of that, and we can collaborate and communicate with you about how you can make that happen in Waimea. But in terms of like our budget and our timeline and everything, we're not imagining starting another program until August. And it's partly, you know, we're trying to get everything in place so that we can be successful. And it's also, you know, it involves our budget too.
Right. When you say not until August, this is August. You mean next August?
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
2019. I'm talking a whole year. Yes.
Okay.
Anjali, this is Allison, and I also live on the west side of the island, so I'm not able to go into Pahoa either and mentor or be very hands-on on that side. And our original intention was to do one on this side of the island, maybe Honoka'a or Waimea, and then one on Puna side. But then we realized like it was going to be a lot of work to try to do two schools starting out. So we wanted to start with one school and learn from one school, and then take that. And next year, our intention was to do this side of the island too, because I have a network over here, and a good amount of people that have been on our board calls are on the west side too, like you and Danielle and I think
me.
And yeah. So yeah, we do plan next year to have it on this side of the island as well.
Cool.
And the reason for that gap is, if you think about it, January to April-ish is the 10 weeks. And then we need to look at the results, right? And then see what we want to change and start again, and the next logical starting point would be August, because the school will end.
Yeah.
Right.
And Anjali, there's a contact that somebody who's on the board, she wasn't able to make it. Do you know Jan Merrick? She lives in Waimea. She would be an awesome person for you to collaborate with. I can send you her information.
Yeah, send it to me and I'll contact her.
Yeah.
The other thing I just heard today about Waimea is that Boys to Men, Waimea has actually given them a building. That's how into Boys to Men they are.
Wow.
The whole building to use as their office and headquarters.
Is Bonichi helping with that?
Tony? I don't know, actually.
Husband? Is her husband helping with that?
Oh,
You're
Tony? I'm not sure
Tony.
if he's involved. Michael is.
No, I think they're traveling, Amber and Tony.
They're back. I don't know. I don't think Tony's doing that.
Yeah, I saw her son at school. Her son goes to the same school where I teach.
Oh.
So, yeah. He came up to me today. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. May I ask a question about training?
Yes.
So I would like to request that if it's going to happen in December, that you let us all know so that we can make our December travel, around the situation, around the training, because I don't want to make a reservation and then go, whoops, to go to see my family in December and then, miss the training.
We were talking about setting dates sooner rather than later.
Yeah,
that really love to request that. That would be great. Thank you.
Yeah, and we know that your gift lies in creating like the programming and training, and so we're hoping you're able to be a part of our programming and training meeting in the upcoming Wednesday. I think that one's the 22nd, and then at that meeting, that date could be picked out.
Perfect. I already put it on my calendar. The 22nd.
Awesome. Yeah, that would be great. And you can be a part of creating the date for sure.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. I think that will help us all with our December, holiday.
Yeah,
vision.
for sure. Great.
Yeah.
All right. Anyone else have anything they'd like to share? Questions?
Anybody want to know how much money we need?
Sure.
You have to come to the fundraising meeting.
You can find out on August 15th. Find out the magical numbers that we were wanting to launch this.
It seems like we're done, and it's kind of 8:02, which is awesome. So
yeah,
check out.
Great. Sure. Let's have everybody check out, and maybe just what you're feeling now, or something that you learned or got out of this meeting. We'd love to hear what you're inspired by as you check out. So maybe we can, why don't we start here with Anjali?
Sure. I'm inspired by this group of women and how much you've accomplished, and I'm honored to be a part of it. And I'm thankful to be here, and I see the vision. I can really feel the vision of possibilities and the power of the group creating realities. When you were sharing these little miracles that had happened, and that's what happens when we all get together and work with a common goal. And I'm glad I'm in the pod with you guys, and I'm checking out with contentment, ease, and exhilaration and enthusiasm and great gratitude. Aloha.
Aloha. Thank you. Ashley.
I'm checking out, just really impressed with all of the work that you've been doing. Just can tell the passion and the synchronicities are there. And I'm grateful that the leadership team is just killing it. And just keep reaching out with specifics of how to help, and looking forward to some of the meetings in the future.
Thank you,
right.
Ashley.
Thank you. And Sandra?
Hi, I'm just excited to imagine how this is going to unfold, and was kind of thinking about it in my head. And one thing that was kind of cool that happened was my daughter, who's in 11th grade at Haas, came in and listened a little bit. And she was saying, "Oh, I wonder if they'll need any help with like in-school leadership." That she wanted to kind of volunteer.
Yes!
So yeah, so that happened while we were meeting. So that was like just some of the magic. So I'm excited to watch it unfold.
Right on. Thank you, Sandra. Yes to your daughter.
Yeah, I figured there'd be a place for her.
Yes. All right. Mirabai, you want to check out next?
Yeah, I'm feeling really happy and appreciative. And I'm getting really excited because it feels like this is going to happen. And how cool is that? Plus, I really want to play with therapy horses. And I'm out with that.
All right. Caitlin?
I am feeling much more grounded in what this program is and the state that you're all in, and kind of just like wrapping my head around what goes into creating a vision like this. Yeah, so I'm feeling really grounded in just like learning about that process and have more awareness of how I can participate. And I'm very interested in the programming and training meeting. Yeah, I feel like I'm just like settling into more just like how I could see myself participating. Yeah, I feel engaged and, open. Yeah, we're content.
All right. Thank you for coming. And Danielle?
Yeah, similar to Caitlin, the word I'm really resonating with is feeling a lot more grounded in the form and conceptual idea of this program and how it's really coming together for you guys and all of us. And it's just wonderful to hear everyone's excitement and support. And I'm just really excited to see it go to school. So I'm very thankful to be a part of such a wonderful community. Thank you for having me.
Yay. Thank you for being here. Allison?
I'm just feeling like a sense of like a big exhale. We've met so much lately, and it's just like, we're going to bring this to the board, we're going to bring this to the board, and tell them all of our plans, and now we've shared it, and it's out there, and now it's going to happen. So I'm just really looking forward. I'm going to be traveling a lot for August and September, so I'll only be able to be at the fundraising meeting until middle of September. And then I'll be able to be back on the Wednesday meetings, but I'm just feeling excited to meet with y'all next week and start planning and really putting all this to fruition.
All right. Thank you, Allison. And I think I'm the last one. I want to make sure, did I get everybody? Did everybody check out but me? Okay, good. So I'm really happy right now. I just want to say, like, I feel like with this project, Girls to Women, that I've gone through a breakdown to breakthrough. And I think we're all in the breakthrough process right now. And the other thing that I've noted, like I'm looking at my little vision board here, that this project for me has been a project, like it's not something that I need to do or I must do, or, I'm calling it my elevation project. So I just want to put that out, that like when I work on this, it's like connecting me with all of you, and it's just bringing magic into my world. So I feel like it's elevating me, it's elevating all of you, it's elevating girls, women, everything. So I feel elevated right now, just being on the call with all of you, and it's really meeting my needs for connection and inspiration. Yeah.
Wonderful.
So thank you all for showing up and being a part of this, and we'll be sending you some announcements about the next meetings and some more details. So stay tuned, and we look forward to, each of you being involved in the way that you want to.
Awesome.
Thank you, everybody.
And I want to ask, thank you guys. Mirabai and Allison, will you just stay on for a moment more?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye. Aloha.